Hey guys, it's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe, and I wanted to talk about Body Melt. This is a 1993 83-minute film from Australia, and if you know me, I'm kind of a sucker for Australian films. I love The Road Warrior. I love the whole Mad Max series, but The Road Warrior is my favorite. Chopper's one of my favorite films, and Body Melt has really grown on me. If you like things like Slime City, where they have these melt movies, as they put them, where people are exploding and oozing and all this crazy stuff, then I think you'll probably like Body Melt. I've seen the movie now 3 times. This is the 3rd time. And the more I watch it, I wouldn't say funnier I find it, but it definitely has a black humor sense to it, and the more interested I am. I also think I tend to pay more attention when I watch something the 2nd or 3rd time, or maybe I just take more in. So this was on Amazon Prime last I looked. It's been a while now, but then I got the Blu-Ray recently, and that's how I watched it this time. So I was going to try and describe this here, but the back of the box really describes it better. Residents of the suburban cul-de-sac of Pebbles Court have started receiving unexpected samples of a new and experimental vitamin manufactured by a strange health spa named Vinegar. However, shortly after adding the mysterious green powder to their diets, they begin experiencing strange and increasingly macabre visions. And worse, their bodies start to mutate, ooze, and eventually melt. So it's sort of a knock on, I think, the vitamin and health industry. These people taking like shots and getting really muscular. There's, as they said, people taking vitamins or putting this powder on their foods. They go to this health clinic, this one family, and they're eating all this like health food. It looks kind of like antipasto, but it's in Australia, and they're eating it and they're all taking it in, and the one person that doesn't eat it, nothing happens to them, but the rest of them all start oozing and exploding and like choking on their own tongue and like crazy stuff. The movie is really crazy, gory, over the top, and just nuts. I mean, I can't describe it any other way. There's just constant like explosion, and grotesqueness is the word I was really looking for. Constant grotesqueness. They originally intended this film to be an anthology, which makes sense to me because one of the things I initially didn't like about the film, but I do like now, is it sort of hones in or focuses on this one guy who's into working out, then another neighbor who is like a lonely, I don't know if he's a pilot or something, and he meets this woman at the airport. Then there's this family who goes to the health spa. Then there are these 2 like youngish, kind of like punk, not punk, but they, I guess, they think they're kind of hip or whatever, guys who are probably in like their early 20s, and they go on a road trip together, and all of them have interactions with this vitamin in some facet. And then there's other people they meet that are, developing the vitamin and trying to use all these people in this cul-de-sac loosely. It's a very like kind of loose story, but as experimental guinea pigs, for lack of a better term. But the movie moves fast, and there's always like something happening, and it's only 88 minutes, so it's not a long film. But there's like, it's constantly focusing on these different sets of people, and then eventually they all sort of meet their demise in some way, or explode, or get sick, or start melting, or there's a woman whose stomach opens and it just like explodes all this stuff everywhere, and it's just constant like grotesque, weird, oozy imagery. And if you don't like that type of stuff, or vomit and things like that bother you, you probably will not like Body Melt. But if you like things, again, like Slime City, I would definitely recommend it. Just know you're going in for like a weird, trippy movie, and then give it a shot. The special features are, there's a newly scanned and restored 2K restoration from its 16mm negative. It looks very good. Group commentary track with the writer, director, composer, the writer, producer, and the producer. A commentary track with the writer, director, composer again. A deconstruction of Body Melt 2018 featurette with Philip Brophy and Rod Bishop, who are again directors and producers. And Adrenal Glands, a 2018 interview with the actor Neil Foley. I didn't watch Adrenal Glands. I did watch a little bit of Melting Away, and it was pretty interesting to get some backstory on the film because it's such a weird movie. A behind-the-scenes featurette, behind-the-scenes stills and prop gallery, storyboard, theatrical trailer, reverse cover art, and English subtitles. The movie definitely feels early 90s-ish. it even has a little bit of a late 80s appeal, because, you know, that sort of has that like blend where when you watch a movie that comes out in the early 90s, it still feels a little 80s. So it has a little twinge of that like kind of neon clothing, you know, everyone wearing spandex and being into health, but into the 90s, you know. And Australia kind of, I think, is different than America in ways where certain things come at certain times and then they hit other places, like, you know, different time frames. So it might have been that as well, where maybe we saw more of that health craze in the 80s, and I think in the early 90s, maybe at that point it hit Australia. Who knows? Cool artwork on the cover. Like I said, the movie is really zany. You'll definitely recognize some of the Australian actors that I've recognized from other horror films over the years. And if you keep an open mind and you like weird stuff, maybe even Greasy Strangler to an extent, you'll probably like Body Melt. I'm glad I picked this one up, and I'm glad I've really given it a shot and rewatched it, because it's not like one of my favorites, but it's definitely up there at being really interesting and good and weird, and just something that you kind of get a little more each time you watch it, I think. And some of the imagery and the casting was really cool. There's like lots of like muscle-bound big guys and strange-looking women, and they like really honed in on like freaky-looking people, both in the positive and the negative sense. There's like this inbred family at one point. This woman has this jaw like Robert Zadar. It's like huge, and she's with her brother, and the brothers are all mutated, and like their teeth are messed up and their tongues are like deformed. It's like, it's very strange. It's almost like Deliverance meets Slime City. You know, it's just a weird. Oh, and Street Trash. If you like Street Trash, but you want more of a warped, trippy film, I guess more grotesque in some ways, you'll like this. But so that's my 2 cents on Body Melt. I enjoyed it. As I said, rewatching it really did it for me as well. So let me know, guys, if you've seen Body Melt from Australia, the Ozploitation classic, supposedly. Thanks, guys, for watching. It's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe. Be good.